Today, RealAgriculture.com comes to you from C&M Seeds Wheat Industry Day. We're joined by Dr. Stefan Bruns from KWS, one of Europe's leading seed breeding companies, actually number 4 worldwide, is that right?
Yeah, when you include only the agriculture crops, yes, we are number 4 worldwide.
Well, welcome to Canada.
Thank you.
Stefan, in your presentation, you focused on hybrid wheat development, and let's start there. What's the potential benefits of hybrid wheat?
The potential benefit of hybrid wheat is you have heterosis in it, in hybrids. We have made this experience with hybrid rye, for example, with our hybrid rye varieties. There we have an existing system. We have yield benefit of 20-25% in comparison to OP varieties. We could recognize it also here in Canada with our existing hybrids in official trials. And wheat, we are in the process research and development. We are in developing hybrid wheat varieties, but we do not have hybrids available. So our intention is to increase yield and to increase robustness of the varieties for different environments. That's the most important part for this development.
Now there are challenges. Hybridization of wheat is a challenge. One of the things, wheat is a self-pollinator. Talk about the challenges.
The challenges in wheat are, when you compare it with rye, for example, as rye is an open pollinating crop and wheat is a safe pollinator. It's difficult it's a more complex system in wheat, and it's not too easy to develop the system. There have been done lots of works in the past since 1960, investments in research and development to develop hybrid wheat varieties. But it's a complex system. You need to have security in the seed production. Some of the breeders are working in Europe already with gametocides to have sterile females, to have this pollination with males, and it's a complex system, and we are working on it to develop other hybrid system for wheat, but it takes time to come to an end, to a successful system there.
Now you are testing some varieties, and you mentioned earlier you're seeing yield increases. Talk about those and what you're seeing and what you can expect.
Yeah, we are involved in a hybrid wheat project, high wheat we call it in Germany. There are many other breeders involved, and there we did create some experimental hybrids, tested it in trials at different locations, and we could see there is an advantage in yield. But we also know that we have to do lots of work in developing gene pools for the male, for the female system, and there is still some work to do, but those results showed us there is a potential in increasing yield with the experimental hybrids, and therefore I'm sure we are on the right way to develop hybrids, but it also is a good combination with trait development. So therefore our strategy is to have research and development in hybrid wheat breeding and development, the same as in traits for wheat.
Now, some of the numbers that you showed today in your presentation, I looked around about a 10% or even more increase. Yeah. Is that the right sort of target area?
Yeah, in the past, in wheat studies, we could see that the increase in yield is on a level of between 2-3 to 10%. It's possible. It depends on the region. It depends on the genotypes developed. But if you compare to OP, to cross-pollinating crops, it's a lower level. Therefore, we have to invest more to select the right hybrids there also. There are 2 or 3 critical parts. It's a seed production, it's a development of hybrids, gene pool development. So it's a complex system for developing of hybrid wheat.
So quickly talk about, I guess, the benefits that have to accrue to farmers. Obviously, you talked about yield. What else has to be in that equation?
We do have the experience with other crops, not with wheat so far, but what we see is that the hybrids are more robust when it comes to different environmental conditions. In some areas we also see they are more tolerant against drought stress, for example, and all in all, it's yield stability with hybrids, where we think that that's a big benefit also in addition to yield progress. So there are 2 or 3 factors. It's robustness, disease tolerance could be one point, but also yield stability and yield increase. That also are the most important points.
And obviously the final question, the biggest question. When when will hybrid wheat arrive? I know you don't have an exact date, but talk about, I guess, your process and, you know, ballpark, when we might see it.
Well, I cannot speak for all the breeders. We are in this process, research and development, and I cannot say because I'm not the breeder. I have to ask the breeders too. The process is ongoing. We have the first experimental hybrids, but that does not say when we will come to the commercial part. It will take some years. For the next 5 years, I'm sure we do not have any entries for hybrids, but I do not know the exact figure. We need to be sure that it makes sense to start with the hybrids. If we have, we need to have the right seed production system. We need to have hybrids competitive and with advantage for the farmers, and then we decide to start with hybrids.